How good is a $12 multi-tool torch? Find out next on Channel X24. Alright guys, so let's have a look at this thing. This is the 8-in-1 multi-torch. Now when I saw this thing I was like, okay, this is kind of interesting. So this is a torch that's also a multi-tool. I hadn't seen that before, but I got to kind of thinking about it. I was like, actually this makes sense, because a lot of people are going to want to keep a torch in their car, or maybe in a drawer in their home in case the power goes out or something. And so it makes sense that it's got these other features on it as well. So this one's made by JML. And it's 8-in-1, so it's got the torch itself, which has got an adjustable beam on there. It's got a glow-in-the-dark switch, which is something new I hadn't seen before as well. On here it's saying it's got a 40mm penknife. It's got a glass breaker that folds out. It also seems to have this kind of metal sort of guard over the front as well, which I've seen on some tactical torches before, which is also kind of for self-defense or for breaking glass and things like that. Here it's got this safety blade cutter as well, which is kind of like a seatbelt cutter. Then we've got a can opener, so screwdriver, some mini scissors, and then we've got an M2.5, which I wasn't aware you could get 2.5 sizes, an M3 hexagonal wrench, and then it goes over some of the features on the back here. Yeah, so let's have a look at this thing. Let's unbox this here. Some batteries, free batteries, and it comes with some instructions as well, which we shouldn't need. So, oh no, it's a blister package. Okay, let's open this up. Love the combat. Okay, nice. So let's bring you guys a little bit closer and have a look at this thing. So here's the torch itself. It's looking pretty nice. It's pretty small, just, you know, standard flashlight kind of size. We can see on the side here we've got all our tools, which will fold out. Are these kind of spring loaded, it seems? Okay, so they've got a good click to them when they open up there. So there's our screwdriver and our openers. Then we can see if we flip this over out here, there's our, oh no, that's our other screwdriver, a crosshead screwdriver. Let's get these all out here and take a look. They're not kind of the easiest thing to get out. You kind of have to go one at a time, open that one and then open the rest. Yeah, one at a time works. There's our scissors. Okay. Then we've got our can opener and our knife. Let's go and have a look at this knife. Let's see how sharp this is. Well, it seems like it's pretty sharp straight out of the box. Pretty sure all these are stainless steel as well. Again, this tool costs around $12 on Amazon, so it's not all that expensive. Got a nice brushed aluminium siding. Feels like it's reasonably durable. This surface finish here is this kind of, it's like a plastic finish, but it's slightly soft, like a soft rubbery plastic. We've got our on-off button, and then we've got our focusable beam here, which turns. Do you push it? Ah, yeah, you push it. Okay, that's interesting. So you kind of push it backwards and forwards to focus it. Change the distance between the front lens and the LED. Seems like we have a plastic lens on the front there, and then we have this metal, looks like we have a metal front here. Let's take this look at this hammer. So the hammer, apparently you just push this in, oh, and it pops out, nice, and then it kind of stays in unless you push it back in again, and then it locks into place. That's kind of cool. Nice. We'll have test out that glass breaker in a wee bit. Alright, let's put some batteries in this thing. So it's got an open and close indicator here. We'll unscrew this. And then we've got a wee battery holder. that we can go and insert. This torch requires three AAA batteries in there, and then we're just gonna load this in. Does it give us instructions on which way to load? I'm guessing it's probably this way. Let's see if that works. Right. There we are. There's our torch. So it seems to be pretty bright, just on first try. There's actually this red, kind of clear plastic. It kind of gives it a nice little glow around the edge there. I don't really know what that's about. So on off, and then we can focus our beam. The kind of precise close-up work. You can see I'm adjusting this here, and it's changing the actual beam size. So that's always good if you're trying to pinpoint things in the dark. It also should have a flashing mode on it as well. Yeah, so you just keep on putting it on and off, and then it goes onto this kind of signaling flashing mode. It's quite kind of rear heavy, but yeah, seems like a good comfortable torch. Buttons about in the right place. So yeah, it seems pretty good. So now let's go and try out some of the features on this and see how this 8-in-1 multi-tool survival torch works. Alright, so let's test this knife blade out now against this piece of wood, see how well it cuts. See how just easy it is to use. You've got a big handle on here, obviously, with this thing. You can kind of rest your thumb against the little cutout for the hammer there. Okay, so it's not like super sharp, but you feel quite secure using this knife blade. There's a wee bit of back flex in it when you use it, but definitely nothing that's too bad. Making a spike here. It's definitely functional, you know. Could definitely be sharpened a wee bit just out of the box. I think we could run that through a sharpener and get it a bit better, but you know, it's not too bad. Yeah, it's alright. If it's fingernail sharp. Nah. So yeah, it could do with a wee bit of sharpening just straight out of the box, but it's just kind of a standard penknife blade there. Alright, so it's got this end on it here that sort of protects the plastic lens here from getting damaged if you need to hit things with this. So let's just try it against this old rotten wooden stump here, see how it fares. Okay, so the light did turn on and the hammer came out. Lens seems alright though, let's try that again. So the hammer deeps keep popping out because I hit that switch, but yeah, seems to stand up pretty well to hitting things with. Probably use the front there to break a window or something, or glass, as well as the back. Let's just finally try out this wee knife inside here. It looks like it might even be sharper than the main knife. So we got a roll of baler's twine here, and we'll try and see if we can cut this with this little bit in here. Yeah. Nice and easy. That was actually a lot easier than I thought it would be. Just stick some through there and pull it, and it'll cut. Nice. Seems like that might actually be decently sharp. Yeah, that works quite well. Definitely cut fishing line and string and things with it. Alright, so we're going to see how well this glass breaker works now. So we've got this particular kind of beer that's been causing some issues recently, and we're going to see if we can break this bottle. So of course this is probably used for like car windscreens, or you know, breaking back into your house if you need to do that, if you've locked yourself out. It's also got this seatbelt cutter, and you'll see this style of hammer, which magnifies the force, because basically you're using the force of the object and you're hitting and concentrating it on this really small hardened tip. Then you've got this seatbelt cutter here, which is designed to cut through seatbelts and just be a sort of way of basically putting a blade on an item that can be stored on a bus or in public transport or something. So it's not really required on this. They're kind of advertising it to be used with like fishing line and stuff, so we'll see what that's like. Anyway, let's smash some glass. Okay, so that seems to work pretty well. Definitely completely obliterated that bottle. Nice. And then it just folds back away. No issues there. So that's it, the 8-in-1 multi-tool torch. Seems to work quite well, all the functions seem to work. It seems like it's decently sturdy, except you can kind of see it's kind of flexing a wee bit here, so I think if you kept hitting things with it, it may well break just where that battery connects in there. But for what most people are going to be using it for, it's alright. Would I personally be using this that much? Probably not. Reason being is, I usually have a knife on me which replaces, these cutters here. And I usually carry a torch as well. It's nice having everything built into this, one unit, but I just prefer having a higher quality torch and a higher quality knife separate, not built into something that's this cheap. What I do feel this would be good for though is keeping one of these in the car, keeping one of these in a drawer in your house, because it's got a lot of just handy tools on that would be pretty useful. It's got that glow in the dark button as well, which means it's going to be quite easy to find in the dark, and you never know when you're going to need a torch with some additional functions. I mean, it does kind of seem that this is kind of aimed towards being used in cars because you've got this tool on the end here. It's obviously got a lot of items that are useful, and it's easy to have them all together in one piece rather than like having to assemble kind of a kit. I mean, you imagine if you needed this, you'd need to get a knife together, you need to get a hammer, glass breaker, which most people probably aren't going to have in their car, which is something useful to have. Even if like there's some sort of accident that you see happen and you need to get somebody out of a car, you break a window, might not be your own car, this is something that's useful to have in that situation that a lot of people might not actually be carrying with them, but you can have because you've got this tool. I think for the price it's really good though, considering everything you get. Most multi-tools are going to cost around that price, apart from if you're talking about a Leatherman, which is obviously a lot more expensive, but the fact that you're getting a torch as well is really good. So yeah, I think it's definitely not the highest quality piece of kit in the world, but for what most people who are buying this are going to use it for, I think it's going to be pretty good. So that's it, the 8-in-1 multi-tool.